take by playing that loose of coverage on the back end for San Fran.
First and goal from the 8. It is Jones. And he was met initially by Nick Bosa. Winston can't fire the one downfield, and he is sacked back at the 38-yard line. First NFL sack for Nick Bosa. Winston is wrapped up. Down he goes back at the 14-yard line. Arik Armstead with the 49ers sack.
Rudolph dancing, under pressure, escaping, and goes down.
He lost the ball.
And covered by the Steelers.
4 straight runs, and now an empty look here for Baker Mayfield. Mayfield trying to get away, the ball comes loose, and the 49ers recover, and it's Nick Bosa with the football. Great response by Cleveland if they can get 7 out of it. Chubb trying to get to the outside and unable to do so. Tart and Bosa combining there for that loss of 5.
Screen play something short just to get some tempo.
Pressure again, and he goes down again. As is Nick Bosa crashing home on Baker Mayfield. 3rd sack tonight by the Niners.
Just a 4-man rush.
2nd and 12. He gets him again. The ball comes out, and Cleveland recovers. Nick Bosa has been unstoppable against Baker tonight.
On a 3rd down, nothing. Tried to look and then pitched to Steve Sims, the receiver, and the 49ers stopped that in a hurry. Peterson trying to get outside but can't. He may lose a yard. Nick Bosa. It's a handoff to Smallwood and fighting to get yardage back. Why don't you finish your thought on Dwayne Haskins at least getting into a game at some point here. And then failing on 4th down, the run to Peterson, and then the fumble by Peterson, and now a fitting sack by the 49er defense. Nick Bosa sailing through the Redskin offense.
3rd down and 3. McCaffrey lines up to the right as a receiver, and down goes Allen, stopped from behind by Nick Bosa. And a 1st down now at the 43 of the Niners. And unable to get away from Nick Bosa with his 2nd sack of the game and the 5th overall for the 49ers. 3rd down and 22. Allen can't get away from Bosa again. And Bonifant has come in for him, and the pass is going to be picked off by Bosa. Nick Bosa can't bring him down till he gets to the 8-yard line. Wow.
Carson in the backfield with Wilson. 3rd and 1. Carson. Great job by that defensive front.
Kirk came in as the most targeted receiver on the team. Made a catch there, but in trouble is Drake. It'll lose yardage. Big play by the 49er defense.
Sealing those edges, getting some lead blockers.
Drake again in some trouble here. And a group of 49ers led by Bosa.
49ers show blitz, but back out except for the corner. And Rodgers under pressure, and he can't escape. Down he goes at the 14-yard line. The ball comes out, and the officials at the 2-yard line with Bosa coming in there. Rodgers going to go down again at the 18-yard line. That's Nick Bosa.
Here's Hill, straight run, trying to get to the edge. He can't get there. Nick Bosa, what a play. Penalty as well, but he might have been held. Breeze going to swing it to Kamara, tipped away by Nick Bosa. He is everywhere for this 49ers defense, and of course San Francisco playing it through in case it was backwards pass, but it's not. It's incomplete. It's 4th and 18.
Time for Ryan, but he's sacked anyway. Nick Bosa.
Cousins stepping up, stepping away, but can't get away. Nick Bosa is right there for the sack.
It is amazing. It gives you chills when you're over there talking about it with your teammates.
Not leaving home. Cousins pressured again. That's a half dozen sacks. Bosa gets this one.
Four-man rush. Rodgers is sacked. Bosa and Buckner. Third and 7, Rodgers. Ball is out on the ground. K'Waun Williams knocked it out. The Packers keep the football, but it's 4th down and a mile, a loss of 15.
One-on-one up here at the top.
Mahomes has it knocked out of his hands. He's able to get back on top of it, but Nick Bosa knocked it out of the hands of Mahomes and a loss of 7.
Rush yards per game, encouraging if you're a Lions fan in this first half. Here's Swift trying to get to the edge. Just as we tout the run game of Detroit, it's the run defense of San Francisco stringing Swift out. Zach Kerr providing the heat and a loss of 4 with that penetration. From the 25-yard line. And on first down, they'll try the run. Oh, penetration from Nick Bosa. First time we've called his name.
Handle the penetration a little bit better. I'll get to Kyle Shanahan in just a second.
After this play from Jalen Hurts, under pressure. The ball came out loose. It was snagged by the tight end Jack Stoll. Well, that's a big play by Nick Bosa. On third down and short, 4-man rush. Pressure on Jalen Hurts. And down he goes. Nick Bosa in the thick of it. His 2nd sack of the season. And it's 4th down.
On the ground, nothing doing this time. Into the backfield goes Nick Bosa.
Pocket collapsing, and there's Nick Bosa, his 4th sack already this season. It shuts down the Seattle drive. Collins trying that stretch play, and Nick Bosa is there along with Azeez Al-Shaair.
Slips under 30 seconds to play in the half. Murray in some trouble, and Bosa got him! 5th sack of the year for Nick Bosa, and a giant sack throwing Arizona out of field goal range.
See, they got a jumbo tight end here, Alex Bars.
And Ryan Nall is the back. They'll fake to him. Here comes Bosa. Flag is thrown. Fields hit the deck, and it's going to be a holding penalty either way. Herbert trying to stretch it. There is Bosa. Combo for the Bears over the last couple of years. Justin Fields trying to get away from the pressure. Unable to do so. First contact was DJ Jones, and the rest of the 49ers swarm him. And after all that,
No need to go for it all here.
Here's Connor on first down. Caught by Bosa. The ball's out. The ball stripped out by Bosa. Bouncing around on the turf. Who ends up with it?
Arizona got it. I mean, San Fran just can't catch a break right now. San Francisco can't catch a break right now.
3rd and 3 at the 24-yard line. This is Connor, and Connor pounced on in the backfield. And nothing doing. Bosa with the stop.
3rd and goal. Stafford being chased, going to be taken down. A flag comes in. Nick Bosa got there for the sack.
And how many times did I draw a holding penalty?
Yeah, I mean, he's double teamed on every play. And down goes Trevor Lawrence as Nick Bosa closing fast here.
Up until this point and kind of expand from there, but they just haven't been able to establish any rhythm.
There was time, but Lawrence couldn't find anybody open. Bosa runs him out of bounds.
This was already the 9th possession of the game, 5th for the Vikings as Cousins is wrapped up and taken down. 11th sack of the season. Nick Bosa.
He's playing left corner right now on Deebo Samuel. That's not a matchup that's favoring the 49ers right now.
1st and 20. Crumbling pocket. Hit on the play. That is a fumble. Rolling and taken in by Posick, the center.
Y ahora es tercera oportunidad y 5 por avanzar. Atrás Burrow, mucha presión y le cayeron. Y soltó el balón, lo alcanzó a recuperar. Le cayó Samson Ebukam.
It comes down to pressure. Can Cincinnati block or can the 49ers get to Burrow?
Burrow! Down at the 5-yard line.
It has really put them in a tough position.
3rd and 3. Burrow pulls it down and is brought down by Nick Bosa.
Blitz. Ryan. Crumbling pocket. Here comes Bosa.
I think the ball came out too.
I think there was a fumble on the play at the 38. Bosa getting sack number 15. Cordero Patterson hit by Bosa. Slowed enough there that they came in with Gibbons and others on that line, making the stop and no gain on the play.
Fake it. Pressure coming. Tannehill tries to set up a screen, and that goes backwards. Nick Bosa all over it. Just destroyed the play.
Stafford is sacked. Exactly what the 49ers needed, and Nick Bosa gets there. Reeder and Leonard Floyd with the pressure. Here's a handoff to Akers, and he is brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Bosa. Loss of 2.
What a time to have it, right?
Yeah, but 3rd and 13 to start.
Pressure. And Bosa's there. Nick Bosa got to him back at the 10-yard line.
Of Matt LaFleur and the Packers. 13 runs, 13 throws. Here's throw number 14. Instead, it tries to get run number 14, and Bosa brings down Rodgers. Rodgers' ball gets hit. It is on the ground, and let's see who comes away with it. Handoff to Michelle, and he's brought down in the backfield by Nick Bosa, a loss of 3. Stafford brought down, sacked by Bosa. Handoff to Michelle. Lost 1.
When the play ended, he let it go all the way to the 2-minute warning rather than burning one of his timeouts. A lot of time, 30 seconds to come off the clock.
Stafford is sacked.
What a great start to the season he's been having, and that was one of the areas that Justin Fields thought he might be able to exploit.
On 3rd down, he's in trouble, and there's Nick Bosa on this loaded front 7. There's the headliner.
Make sure it ends in a score, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown. Get yourself right back in it.
Smith with Bosa charging in. It's Nick Bosa with a sack. Four-man twist up front. Smith unable to get away. And guess who?
And you've got arguably the best deep ball thrower in the game.
Wilton got tangled up there, and
that might be a
down.
trip.
And that's what caused Stafford to get it out and be incomplete.
3rd down and 9. Bosa. The sack. 1st and 10 for Mahomes. Pressure, and he's sacked. First one of the day, and it's Bosa who gets home. And they're going to blitz. Pressure coming. Stafford is dropped.
Fred Warner with help of others in the 49ers defense.
And it's scary to see what they're going to look like post-bye if they can continue to add these fresh bodies coming back off injured reserve.
And there comes Bosa, and Stafford is down.
Getting goal, Herbert escaping, was going to try to flip it, but Bosa had his right leg. And Nick Bosa gets another sack, 9.5 on the season. And Chris, they've got backups and 4 rookies, 5 first-year players on the field right now. And they're hanging here with a good San Francisco team. Isaiah Spiller's one of those rookies. He will not go anywhere.
As a ball boy with the 49ers.
And the relationship continues. This Bosa behind the backfield gets DeAndre Carter. Loss of 5.
Last year in this. Pulls it down, and down he goes, Bosa.
See, when he's in the backfield throwing the ball, Andy Dalton is the red rifle, but when he's outside, he's the red rocket, man.
And Taysom Hill can't get to the edge at all thanks to Drake Jackson, former USC Trojan. 3 wide left. Play clock at 2. Dalton gets the shotgun snap. Dalton backside pressure. Bosa got him.
I thought Bosa left a little early.
Tagovailoa looks to throw. He'll have no chance. He's sacked by Bosa. Out of the timeout, 3rd and 8. 49ers twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again. One of his best games as a 49er. Down 9 with 2 to go. Tagovailoa hit as he throws. Ball is out. Ball is live. And it is a touchdown for Dre Greenlaw. We will see. No doubt this is going to get looked at.
But nobody sees him with the late blitz.
3rd and 18, and that pass is incomplete, and it was tipped there as well. Nick Bosa got a hand on it. 2nd and 21, and down he goes. Speaking of 97, Bosa, 15.5 now on the year.
Red zone trip by the Niners. No points on downs. Commander defense holds. 1st and 10 from the 15. Big tackle right there by Bosa. 1st and 10. San Francisco, Washington. And look out from behind. It was Bosa bringing down the quarterback Taylor Heineke at the 27. Nice block by the top. Fumble again. Recovered, it looks like, by San Francisco. It popped right up. Has Heineke fumbled again? There's a fight for it. You can see Willis. You can see the lineman. And you can see Turner grabbing the ball.
Well, Willis came out with it. 75's got the ball in his hands. They're calling it interception.
Either way, it's a turnover, and that killed the Commanders last week against the Giants on Heineke turnovers, and look where he turns this one over here.
16 starters. That's currently 3rd most injuries in the NFL. Wow, he's going to go down inside the 45. Nick Bosa, 18.5 sacks, continuing to add on to his NFL league-leading total.
2nd and short. He's got it again. Waits for something to develop. It never does, and it's Nick Bosa there to shut him down. Pressure. Ball is out. San Francisco's got it. It was on Nick Bosa.
Elliott. Absolutely nowhere. Nick Bosa.
But this whole offense is built around Jalen Hurts. There's no doubt about that.
And Hurts in trouble, and he is just going to get out of the end zone. Bosa wrapped him up.
But I don't see a lot of conservatism in this Philadelphia offense.
Gainwell again tries to stretch to the edge and tackled for a loss that time.
I think he can throw it. He makes good decisions, and he's got some athletic ability at the position.
From the 10-yard line, look out! And that's Nick Bosa. And they're going to spot it just outside the goal line at the 1.
Best defense in the league last year in points and yards allowed. Great start this year. On third down, they get to Prescott, and it's Nick Bosa. With just his second sack of the year, he's been getting close. Finally, he breaks through.
In this game, because of the pressure, that time able to take advantage of Fred Warner.
Pollard was waiting for the block from the fullback Lipke, but Nick Bosa was there to shut the run down.
3rd and 10. Blitz is coming. Walker in trouble, and he's sacked. Nick Bosa.
Haven't seen much of that, but that was the throw that got away from him.
Here's Akers, and there's Bosa.
Start the 4th. Cincinnati after the big pass play to Higgins, and look at the 49er defense, and Furl respond.
The hand to the face really wasn't even a situation.
Jags empty it out here. And Lawrence is going to get sacked for the 3rd time, and it's Chase Young and Nick Bosa together. And the ball.
They can go into that slot and cover well, and Diamador Lenore goes into the slot, and Ambry Thomas kicks outside.
2nd and 10. Lawrence to throw it again. He is sacked by Bosa. Coming out party for this defensive line. Here's Mayfield on the roll. Sets his feet. Comes back against the grain. Look who's waiting for him. Bosa turned the ball loose. It's still loose. Who's got it? San Francisco says they do. Crowd starting to think they're right, and they are. 49er football. Bosa knocks it away from Mayfield. 27-14 here in Santa Clara. 1st and 10 out of the 2-minute warning. It's Mayfield in trouble and sacked with a flag down. It was Dre Greenlaw that finished him off after Bosa clipped him first.
Tracked down by Bosa off the edge. You're on it. Here they come. Smith sacked. The pressure gets there.
And now that they've been able to move Diamador Lenore into the slot, they may be even better.
Gino got him down by the legs. Helmet comes off. And the officials blow the whistle there to stop, and players held up as well as the 49ers come up with another sack.
You know, you can make an argument when you're down like this. This may be the best time to take a shot, but they've got 2 deep safeties here.
Charbonnet couldn't get away from Bosa. And Nick Bosa and Fred Warner.
Hurts, quarterback run. And he is taken down right away. Well played. Nick Bosa got a hand in there. He stays in the backfield. Another 1st down. Give it to him again. Spins away and gets smoked by Nick Bosa.
We got Bosa standing up over the center. We saw him rush the guard last time.
3rd down. Locke trying to run for it. And he's taken down by Bosa.
And Bosa wants to make sure that he was tackled behind, so he gets credit for a sack.
Locke in trouble. Locke is dropped. Nick Bosa got there first.
So we've gotten a little more aggressive in our play calling. 9th play of the drive. Murray steps into pressure and loses the ball. Fumbles it at the 31. Bosa got in there, and now it's a matter of peeling off that pile.
And also Jeff's the run concepts they've kept here in Baltimore this year.
Here's Jackson. Likely blocking, and there's nothing there. Dre Greenlaw got through. Bosa was there. 3rd down coming up. And Kyle Hamilton has 2 interceptions here in this half. 2 of the 3 for the Ravens, and here's Bosa as he makes the play on Justice Hill.
Knowing that Jackson scrambles so much.
Here is Edwards, and Bosa makes the play. Ravens hurried it up, got right back to the line of scrimmage.
Understanding where your check down is
find your running back and giving him a chance to go make a play.
Well, that play looked to be a little bit off target from the start. Nowhere to go, and Nick Bosa gets into the backfield. Keep it on the ground here. Nothing much there for Gibson. There was Chase Young, the first man in the backfield. Former Washington Commander who got traded to San Francisco. You saw the smile on the face. A 3rd down and 8. Get a first down at the 3. Pressure coming from the Niners. Howell delivers, and to the other team, it's Charvarius Ward. Another interception. One of the best in the business. And now wave it out on the return. They're going to say down by contact all the way back at the 5-yard line. Still, though, a 5th interception for Ward to lead the 49ers. Howell rolling out. Chased by Bosa. Howell is going to have to get rid of it. Wow, that would have been an incredible play by Lenore. He was out of bounds, though.
See Love, he sees these 2 linebackers, Greenlaw and Warner. They could come or they could bail out.
They come on the blitz. Love, back throw, incomplete. Threw it off his back foot. Wicks, the intended receiver. That time they came with the pressure and it worked. And here comes the field goal team. Blitz coming. Goff in trouble, and down he goes. It's Nick Bosa. On the fake. Pressure on Goff. He's in trouble, and Bosa's got his 2nd sack of the day.
You know, your blood's boiling, everything. It's just handle it the right way.
Here's a handoff for the Chiefs' first snap, and he is going to be taken back for a loss. Hargrave and Bosa were on him.
It is about who gets it right, Jim.
Well, the first snap of the 3rd quarter, and the ball is on the ground. Pacheco swung down at the 11-yard line. What a brutal beginning to the second half for Kansas City.